برعاية شركة المجتهد للدراسة والسياحة بماليزيا، نقدم لكم برنامج SSS ستوديو.
الله تعالى وبركاته. مرحبا بكم في برنامجنا المتواضع SSS ستوديو. سعيدين جدا نقدم البرنامج نتطرق فيه لعدة مواضيع متفردة ومتنوعة، نتطرق فيه لعدة شخصيات بارزة في مجالها ذات قصص ملهمة أو متفردة. سعيدين الليلة بيكون عندنا أستاذ اشرف سر الختم سعيد رئيس الجالية السودانية بماليزيا، إنسان ذات أو شخصية متواضعة جدا بيناتنا نحن كمجتمع شبابي سوداني في ماليزيا. مرحبا بك أستاذ اشرف.
السلام عليكم، كيف
اخبارك؟ كيف الحال؟
تمام؟
كله تمام؟
الحمد لله.
متأنق الليل.
يعني كيف اللبسة؟
لبسة جد. دارين نعرف السيرة الذاتية للأستاذ أشرف.
Okay, so this will reveal how old I am, I think.
Of course.
I've got يعني بداية 1998 أنا كنت في الثالثة ثانوي. This is when I first had my first job actually.
Okay.
كنت شغال في محل بيتزا، فالباشن في البيتزا started in 1998. أنا وأخوي كنا شغالين في محل زي دومينوز كده لكن براند تاني. اشتغلنا فيه وبعدك بقينا المانجرز while we're studying. We started from there. بعدك I moved on to service industry or tour guide, security. Did a lot of different things because I really believe life is an experience.
Yes.
بعدك I carried into my professional career, which is finance. And since then I've been doing it and traveled 4 countries for doing finance. And now I head up the commercial director for Canada across Southeast Asia.
طيب الحاجة اللي بتميز الشخصية أستاذ أشرف؟
That's a very good question. I've thought about it a lot.
Okay.
I think I like to reflect back and say it's not what I should say, what I think of me. And I'm talking about when I ask my colleagues wherever I work. I mean, شركة شغالين فيها at least 600 people. So I do connect with a lot of people, and most of the time the feedback I ask, what do you think of me, or through the employee review sessions, they all say the same thing. You know, I'm a very helpful guy.
Of course.
So when I think about what does helpful mean, I think it really comes down to my character is to be collaborative. And I learned very honest early on to suspend my agenda. So when I'm listening, I always say, you know, whatever my intentions are, you're trying to suspend it. Yeah, literally you're talking to yourself. يعني بكون زي بتكلم لي رايك في ده شنو بتكلم معاه.
تأخر الحاجة يعني لما تسمع.
So even I want to have an outcome is A. فبكون دائما your outcome is A. I want to convince you my outcome is A. So I'm not listening to you. So I tend to suspend that and I literally talk to myself. Listen, Ash. Listen. عشان تدي the other person to speak and you learn from them. Being helpful, that's been one of my strengths, and I do it through collaboration and listening. Personally, I believe in grit, and grit means perseverance and following your passion. يعني really, that's my number 1 priority.
طيب بالنسبة لي الشخصية أو الشخصية المساعدة والهيلفول زي ما قلت، دي شخصية بالنسبة لي من أفضل الشخصيات يمكن قابلتها في حياتي أنا الشخصية. الحاجة دي ممكن تكون من الحاجة المهنية، حاجة مهنية أو حاجة الشخصية الاجتماعية أو بوث يعني.
أيوة.
ده سؤال.
Where I learned it from both. You're right. يعني 100%. You have your personal life, your group of friends. But then when you move into the professional setting, it's a different environment. لأنه في guardrails, في governance, في طريقة بتتكلم بيها. مع أصحابك you're a bit more relaxed. في المكتب you have to be a bit more guarded. You can't say certain things. It's different. لكن يعني if you take it back a notch, it's always good to look at things from the top down. Simplifies things. يعني at the end of the day, you're interacting with people. There's people everywhere, whether it's your wife, whether your father, your mother, يعني you مثلا شلت جراب you use iPhone. People created this. يعني you're interacting with people's things. صح؟ that's why I believe totally إنه EQ is more important than IQ. اللي هي emotion intelligence. So you need to know yourself, your self-awareness, and just be genuine. This is the most important part. And I feel if you're genuine, you're authentic, it doesn't matter whether it's a family, whether it's work, students, you just have to be genuine and authentic.
Okay.
Yeah.
كلام جميل. طيب دار اخش لسه في مواقفك الشخصيه او حياتك الشخصيه. تجربه انديب تجربه او موقف مهني غير حياتك. good experience, bad experience. هاي دي راجع عليك.
It's a tough question.
Okay.
لأنه يعني you have a lot of experience and you can't draw in one.
Okay.
To conclude. And life has a lot of memories. يعني you always remember things I went there. لكن there are moments you don't forget. So moments are more important for me. يعني moments you will always remember for the rest of your life. And sometimes these moments can change directions. I remember early on in my career, I learned إنه money is byproduct of what you do. يعني the focus shouldn't be just about money. يعني of course money is important صح لكن money is the end result is the زي ما مشيت الجامعة وقريت السكورز at the end to show that you've done it صح ولا ما صح؟ But all of your hard work isn't just to get the score, isn't to learn صح ولا ما صح؟ So money is that score. Okay. So my intention has always been, I've learned that very early on, إنه money is a byproduct والرزق من الله. Yeah, so these have been always in the back of my mind. Okay. So that's why I was always happy to learn and branch out. Then كان في اجتماع مع في الشركة وكان في ال HR director had a presentation and he said about you have to be employable. يعني you make yourself employable, meaning don't just focus on one طريق واحد عرفتها؟ يعني أنا ميكانيكي that's it أنا ميكانيكي. You have to branch out. عشان if you are going to apply for another job, yes أنت ميكانيكي, but if you know how to do a little bit of aircraft, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you're more rounded, okay. And you will differentiate yourself from your other person.
Other colleagues also.
يعني برضه من حكاية employability يعني I took this further and إنه كده لازم يكون عندك access to job markets as well. يعني for example إذا السوداني مثلا your job market كسودانيز في السودان or you go to خليج. So a job is a market actually. If you simplify it, getting a job is like market. Yeah. You apply for a job, you get an offer and acceptance salary. It's a market at the end of the day. So you have to compete. So if you open your horizon, if somebody goes overseas, has a different passport, you're opening to different job markets. So you can apply here, you can apply there. So you don't just close B mindset to one thing. So that's why I took that in where I was working. Okay. And I did a lot more, not just finance. يعني في الشركة they don't see me as a finance person. But بدي advice في HR, في marketing, for a lot of things because I learned through experience. Because life is an experience. Life is an experience. Yeah. So that's that moment. وبرضه مرة حصل إنه follow your passion. I come back to it a lot لأنه it's very important actually. When I moved and I was in financial accounting, okay. And I needed to change jobs to management accounting, which is a bit more fun. It's about more analysis, consulting. This is about more reporting. But for me to change, I had to take a pay cut. Okay. About 25% pay cut. Okay. لأن I'm going to a new job. نفس الشركة actually.
نفس الشركة.
New job لكن different skill set.
Okay.
And at the same time, my boss Galea offered me a promotion to get a 15% pay increase.
Okay.
So I had to make a decision.
قرارات صعبة.
Yeah. So then I chose to take a pay cut because I wasn't following money. فهمت كيف؟ So I chose to take a pay cut because that job what I really liked. عرفت كيف؟ So then I changed. And a year later بعد سنة I went back to the same salary I was on the first time. لكن بعد ذاك it opened up a lot of doors because it's my passion. I really love doing it. And then I started growing up faster from there. Yeah. So I think following your passion is those two moments for me is the pivotal moment in my life to say for my career, professional career. Yeah.
Okay. Following your passion is the main. يقولوا
Well, money is a byproduct. Yeah.
مع إنه في ناس بيختلفوا جدا مع المقولة دي.
أيوة.
Money is the main.
Of course, money is a drive. Money is important. But if you think it's byproduct, معناه your inputs, what you put in, is genuine. يعني you have to think about I'm doing something good.
Okay.
If you do something good, you will get reward. صح ولا ما صح?
صح.
Whether it's through money, whether it's through reputation, whether even self rewards مثلا. So this is my experience. طبعا I'm talking about me. I'm not talking. People have different
Different opinions. Yeah.
This has just been my experience في السيتنج اللي كنت أنا فيه. Yeah.
طيب نمشي لمحور ثاني خالص عن الكلام ده كله. مفهوم الغربة بالنسبة لي أستاذ أشرف. أنا اللي عرفته إنه أنت يعني من صغرك يمكن تكون هل زرت السودان قبل كده؟ ده برضه سؤال. يمكن تكون
مشيت السودان. بحب السودان.
فالغربة مفهومك شنو يعني بتخيل؟
أنا هسه يعني I've lived in 7 countries.
أوكي.
وشغلت في 4 منهم professionally. لكن عارف the minute I fly to Sudan, it feels home.
Of course.
Really يعني مع إني قاعد برا كتير و everything لكن the minute كنت أمشي السودان it really feels your home, which is biologically you're connected to that land. إن شاء الله نرجع يوم ثاني من الأيام.
إن شاء الله بإذن الله.
الغربة is an opportunity actually. And I'm saying it now as a professional who have a lot of experience. لكن back then you don't see it as that. He says سافرت هنا جيت هنا حاجة new. لكن I think you have to take it as an opportunity. There's no perfect place. يعني في 7 countries there's no perfect place. Is it the right time for you to be there? You are there anyway. What are you going to do? There's things that moved you from your place A to place B. Whatever that reason is, you just have to follow that reason. And it's an opportunity for you. And if you take it as an opportunity, you'll be more positive about it. And I learned this earlier مثلا مشيت مثلا في Southeast Asia, wherever مشيت Thailand مثلا, different language, and I took that as an opportunity as opposed to difficult country, you can't speak Thai, a lot of things. So you have to learn. So if you're open to learn, you have that open growth mindset, you will enjoy it more.
دي يمكن سؤال خارج نطاق. بتكلم كم لغة؟
لا بلقط أنا. لا بلقط كثير يعني. I don't fluently, I don't speak a lot, لكن بلقط من هنا الشيء على التكاسي مع كده بتكلم يعني تايلندي وحبة صيني وفلبيني وحركات. لا you have to appreciate يعني الغربة هي difficult يعني if you think it's a trade-off صح؟ You can't have everything. If you're قاعد مثلا في السودان you say there's no jobs. You complain. People go outside and I've seen a lot they complain. الغربة حارة, we want to go back. Then they go back, they're not happy. صح? So it's a trade-off. You get this and you get that. You get this, you're giving this up. So in between is the opportunity actually. What do you want to make from that place? What do you want to leave as a legacy? What do you want to leave as a human you've learned? You're in a different culture. You may not like it and you may like it. If you don't like it, so what are you going to do? Move somewhere else or adjust? صح؟ فالغربة هي صعبة, nothing easy, but you have to keep training your mind إنه this is not your country. So you are always living, you're always a foreigner, to put it simply. صح? So what opportunity you're going to take and what learnings you're going to take. That to me is the...
طيب نمشي لمرحلة الشخصية برضو. رحلة الغربة.
So just before you go on that, yeah, and I think a lot of the students now في الحالة السودان حيطلعوا يشتغلوا في حتات تانية وكذا. I think just remember إنه your foundation you are Sudanese. يعني you can't forget that and your parents are always behind you. صح؟ فالغربة فيها حاجات كثيرة كويسة وفي حاجات كعبة. In any country actually. خليك من الناس بيقولوا طبعا لما مشيت الويست كعبة. Yes, it's true. لكن في حاجات كثيرة فيه positive. So you always have to remember your roots.
Your purpose.
Your roots and your purpose, yes. أنت ماشي to learn to get better and then one day you go back. If you don't go back, it's still okay actually. يعني أرض الله في النهاية.
بالضبط. طيب نمشي للموضوع الشخصي أكثر. رحلتك للغربة. أنا عرفته إنك أنت مولود في أستراليا.
لا السودان.
مولود في السودان. طيب ممكن تحكي لنا أكثر عن رحلتك دي؟ رحلة الغربة دي والصعوبات اللي واجهتك أنت يعني.
لأن إحنا سافرنا كثير I learned it young. فيصير لك life is an experience. أنت بعد ذاك when you do something once you knew. You do it twice, 3 times, you become experienced at it. It becomes a norm. عشان كده I always believe life is an experience. The difficulties هنا you're missing out on family. يعني when I go أمشي السودان تشوف your cousins بيشوف حياتهم اتغيرت مختلفة عنك قد ما يعني في الكونكشن يعني disappears كل مرة بيكون wider and wider. that's the part that actually the hardest. A language is another thing. يعني even though بتكون عارف العربي لكن vocabulary evaporates حبة حتى ال use for professional setting is difficult لكن casual setting is okay. that's that. الحاجة الثانية يعني I didn't face it a lot لكن شايف ناس ثاني they faced it fitting in يعني because you're a foreigner to a country you're in between. صح even though you have the جنسية whatever but you're still in between.
في النص كده.
في النص كويس. you can't take their culture completely because you have your own culture.
Exactly.
So there's always a conflict. يعني حتى growing up that conflict will always exist. But if you leave culture aside, I think the foundation is Islam actually. صح if you get stuck you always go back إنه أنت مسلم what is right what's wrong.
بالضبط.
الكالتشر بعد ذاك second layer طبعا. So there will always be a culture clash. في ناس كثير struggle في الكالتشر bit a lot actually. So you have to be close to the community, you have to be close to friends from the same groups. عشان ما هنا فدي كانت one of the challenges لأنه كنا هناك ما كان في سودانيين كتار. إحنا مشينا. فدي كانت big challenge for us.
رحلتك your journey من الغربة. تاني نعرف تايم لاين كده معين من انت صغير حاجه كده مختصره كده.
ايوه.
مشيت وين كنت في وين كده.
احنا وانا لف السودان year 6 الصف السادس actually. اي مشينا والدة مشيت تدرس في عمان.
تمام.
and then مشينا بعد ذاك مصر. ومشينا بعد ذاك سيدني. بعد ذاك جيت سنغافورة اشتغل في سنغافورة مشيت تايلاند وبعد ذاك جيت ماليزيا. كان في فرصة امشي اليابان لكن ما نجحت.
لا ما شاء الله.
maybe one day.
ان شاء الله ان شاء الله. دار نعرف متى دخلت مجال البزنس بغض النظر عن المين كارير بتاعك. دخلت مجال البزنس who gave you the passion يعني.
البزنس actually in the family يعني my dad was a businessman. Allah yarhamu. My mother also went to business. My sister went to business. My brother went to business. I was the last one to go to business. But I was the only one who did it professionally. يعني أنا في الشركة يعني the مثلا Malaysian brand office بيعمل زي $18 million. It's 200 people كده يعني. I did it professionally and managed business professionally. فبعد ذاك I went into my passion which is 3 things actually. Pizza shop. Always been a passion من زمان على فكرة. I wanted to open a pizza business. والحاجة الثانية يكون عندي مزرعة نحل. والثالثة يكون عندي shopping center. ف what I like
هنا معلش بدون مقاطعة أحسن بيتزا في ماليزيا أستاذ اشرف. والله أحسن بيتزا.
تسلم. what I like about business is how companies or any business, they organize themselves and produce value. That I enjoy that.
Okay.
So I do a lot, I read a lot about that. I see new companies that start up, companies that fail, why they failed. I enjoy that. Yeah, I enjoy it thoroughly because there's a lot of learning.
كيف بتقدر توازن بين البزنس والشغل او بزنسك الخاص انت والشغل في حياتك في ماليزيا يعني بالضبط؟
It's not easy, and I will like it's not easy for sure. You have to, يعني, me again, I'm not talking, يعني, in my experience, what works for me may not work for anyone. You only have 24 hours a day. This is a fact. You sleep 8, then you have the rest. صح? I make sure مثلا for the 1 week I do sporting activities. يعني at least 2 to 3 times I have to make sure mentally I'm out exercising. حتى إذا كان simple walk. And you dedicate time to the family. Or you dedicate time for business, or time for work. I don't have a lot of time on social media. Really.
هسه ما عندك انستغرام؟ انستغرام
هاي the only time I had Instagram عشان المطعم, I opened it, I never used it. And I closed my Facebook in 2011.
Closed totally.
Totally.
Okay.
فتحته قبل سنة لأن في marketplace, you buy things.
Okay, yeah.
And one of my second-hand items, that's when I reactivated. But I have zero. الحاجة الوحيدة عندي لينكدين وواتساب.
لينكدين طبعا مع
professional.
professional.
Because it consumes a lot of your time.
صراحة هاي.
يعني you'll be watching something, the next one. I refuse to be brainwashed actually. يعني I like to be in control of my time and what I do. So I challenge you actually, open your phone and see how many hours you spend on social media.
Too much.
Exactly, and then that time, where's that time going? So that's why I don't have the social media. Just because the AI, everything formulates you in to follow that direction.
Exactly.
Whatever you need, they just feed you. حتى I switch off all the ads, whatever I can. And one of the things I should have mentioned earlier about is to get feedback. يعني I love asking questions.
Okay.
To get feedback. I always ask questions. حتى إذا أعمل حاجة عايز أعمل كده رأيك في حاجة دي شنو؟ Because you get different perspectives. Your way is not always the right way. So that's how I manage my time. I don't allow. I call it time thieves.
Of course.
Yeah, and حتى even you have to allow conversation. And even with your friends, مثلا, there's a conversation that you're having that goes for a long time. Sometimes these conversations don't add value. Arguing about something you don't control. صح? You debate about a point. Okay, well, if you say a point, I'll say a point. If we don't agree, it's okay. I don't have to convince you because we're not moving something. We're just discussing. So I think you have to be self-aware. يعني that's what I do.
هسه يعني بالنسبة لي طلعتي أبرز الشخصيات البارزة في مجاله وهنا غالبا بكون عندهم سوشيال ميديا. الحاجة دي مشتركة. الحاجة دي يمكن تكون مشتركة يعني ما بالضبط.
والله it takes a time. It takes a lot of it. I was a big gamer على فكرة. When I was growing up, I would sit 16 hours on the PlayStation. والله I used to.
ده تحدي كبير إن أنت قدرت تخليها يعني في الفترة دي.
And that's a good point. تتحدى نفسك because you learn from experience. يعني مثلا, do you eat durian?
No.
Okay. I eat durian.
Okay.
But why? You go back again, point again about experience. You have to, we forget in your mind, you have to train. Your will, you have to train. We always train the muscles, we train, you look good, you cut your hair, حركات زي دي كده. Because you see, but the mind, you don't see your mind. So you have to train yourself to be able to control yourself when you can, when you can't. Yeah, مثلا when I came to Asia, I saw durian, I hated it. I wanted to force myself to like it. Really. وقلت واحد صيني معاي قلت له احنا مش ناكل الشيء ده. اكلته وطرشته وبس الجوانتيات. قلت تحدي بيني وبينه because I wanted to change my will. I wanted to change my mind.
Okay.
كويس. حاجة simple like this is that you're training yourself to be self-disciplined. Yeah.
طيب آخر السؤال بالنسبة لنا طموحاتك الحالية. شنو الخطوات اللي انت شغال فيها الآن انك انت تحقق طموحاتك الحالية؟ وشنو الطموحات الحالية اللي أستاذ اشرف؟
I have simple طموحات لي كبيرسون ولا
كبيرسون وكشغل يعني ممكن تقول.
هدفي هسه يعني wherever I am because قلت لك بالك أنا I'm a helpful person. I want to help as many people as I can. That's why I always share advice. I always share tips. I always share things because I genuinely like to share and let people learn and help and move forward. What they do with it is up to them. صح? I don't get upset. لأنه if I get upset, that means I'm forcing my opinion.
Of course.
But it may work for some, it may not work for some. But I genuinely, my passion is to fundamentally give advice and help people where I can.
والله أنا حزين جدا المقابلة دي يعني على وشك الانتهاء. سعدنا بك جدا الله يا أستاذ اشرف بالمقابلة. وأنت بالنسبة لنا نحن كرابطة ولا كمجتمع سوداني عامة أو شباب سوداني بالنسبة لنا أنت إلهام يعني شخصية إلهامية. بغض النظر عن تاريخك الكامل بتاع الشغل وتاريخك الوظيفي، حاجة ختامية حابب تقولها للناس للمجتمع السوداني الطلاب السودانيين في ماليزيا؟
والله I'll give a message للطلاب.
Okay.
Since this is a طلاب session. I think get through this. يعني it's tough. يعني you're in a place where it's not your country.
Okay.
You are in a place where you don't have your family with you. You don't know what's going to happen next. Even what you're studying, sometimes you don't know why you're studying.
Yeah.
You know? يعني you're studying, you don't know whether you will get a job, whether you will get whatever, because you're just studying because society says you have to study. And also because it's the only option you may have. Read something, there's something called, I don't know the name, but it's a 70-20-10 rule about self-development professional. Here, it says 10% of your development as a person in a professional career comes from formal education. 20% comes from mentoring, somebody mentoring you, telling you advice, kida kida. 70% comes from experience. Okay. So, انت في Malaysia as a student, you're studying, don't just stick with studying. يعني allocate time with your friends, allocate time to learn something else and develop yourself, whether it's soft skills, whether even go and volunteer. يعني الناس كتير you don't have to work actually. You can go and volunteer. Volunteering will open up different doors for you. You don't know.
Yeah.
So don't just limit yourself to studying. Allocate time for friends. Allocate time for experience actually. So that's my advice.
يعطيك العافية أستاذ أشرف على الاستضافة.
شكرا.
وسعيدين جدا باستضافة شخصيات مثل زي أستاذ أشرف. إن شاء الله نلقاكم في حلقات قادمة مع شخصيات ذات قصص ملهمة أكثر وتفرق. يعطيكم العافية.
شكرا جزيلا.